Welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about how I got my first CNA job without any experience right after, well not right after, a month after getting my certification. So let's get into the video. Okay, so in my city, I'm from Florida, so in my city, I know there is 4 major hospitals in my city. I applied to every single one of them. I applied excessively to 2 of those hospitals, 2 of the 4 that I really wanted to get into. So they did reject me, and guess what? I kept applying. I kept applying to the hospitals. I applied at literally every department that needed a CNA or a PCT. I kept applying and applying and applying. Of course, I got rejected. I got rejected at one hospital about 3 times. And then the other one, I think 4. I think 4. But I didn't get upset. I was just like, nah. They are going to give me an interview regardless of my experience. I had experience in like retail, hotel, hospitality. It was just nothing related to hospital experience. Like I had none at all. No volunteer work, nothing, no experience. But I kept applying. I had faith because I really wanted this job, and I need the experience. So they was gonna hire me one way or another. But eventually someone did hire me. Well, someone did call me for a interview. So the lady that called me for the interview, she was the nurse manager of the department in which I wanted to work in, which was women's services. So she set me up for an interview, and then a week later the lady in HR called me and told me that that she was rescheduling my interview for a later date, and I would have to schedule it myself. And they were having a CNA hiring day, which I was cool about because they were handing out bonuses after the 90 days. And I also asked her if I was going to be interviewing with the nurse manager that I spoke to in the previous week. She was like, yeah, sure, I'll make a note somewhere and let the others know. So in order to prepare myself for the interview, I researched the hospital. I watched videos on interviews, well, CNA videos, CNA interview videos, and then I researched the hospital. I looked up like strengths needed to be a CNA, and I also looked up questions. I practiced what I was gonna say. I tried to come up with ways in how my non-hospital job experience could relate to the CNA job. And after I did all of that, I kept practicing. I think I practiced for like a week or so, but I was insanely nervous. I get nervous easily, so. Oh, and I didn't call none of the hospitals because I get really nervous, and then some places like to like have phone interviews on the spot, and then I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I start stuttering, and then like I get like I start having like anxiety and stuff like that. I just get really nervous with stuff like that. So anyways, I practiced what I was gonna say. I practiced with my boyfriend and how I was gonna answer some of the questions. I also looked up like their awards and things and see if they were in news and stuff, articles. I just did extensive research on the hospital because I really wanted the job. So the interview comes up. As I was sitting there, like, some people had like crazy amount of experience, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna get the job because I have like not even a year of experience, no monetary experience, not even vitals, none of that. I had no experience in none of that. I just tried to calm myself down and just think positive. I kept like remembering the words they had, just like history and just stuff like that. And I also looked up questions to ask because I heard that if you finish the interview with questions and stuff like that, it may increase your chances of getting the job. So I was just like, I need to do anything to get this job. I'm gonna ask questions, seem enthused, be myself, all that fun stuff. So I got called back to the interview, and then when I went in there, it was like a room full of tables, and like the nurse manager's in there and doing like one-on-one interviews. It was a bunch. So to me, it kind of reminded me of like speed dating, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But when I sat down with the lady to interview with, I felt so calm and relaxed because like I know everybody else is trying to get the job also. So it kind of calmed me down because I wasn't the only one in there trying to be heard. I don't know if that makes sense, but that just kind of calmed me down. So I sat down with the lady, I shook her hand, and so she introduced herself to me, and the minute we sat down, she introduced herself to me. She said her name, and I was just like, this is not who I was supposed to interview with. Oh my gosh. I was just surprised. That's it. I was surprised because it wasn't the lady I was supposed to interview with. So I was just like, I'm gonna just do my best regardless, just in case, you know. I was thinking maybe it was kind of like we do round robins and then they just pick who they thought was best. So I was just like, let me just ace this interview. So we sat down, had the interview, and so she asked me to tell me about myself. I kind of like, the way I like to answer this is I like to talk about my past experience and how like the experience that I gained could help me with the current job that I'm applying to. And I also discuss why I want the job and how it could help me in the future. And I may also talk about my weaknesses, so it cuts down on like the amount of questions they're gonna ask and cuts down on the anticipation of me waiting and thinking about the answer and constructing them. So if I already have like a pre-prepared answer of like, so tell me about yourself, I can prepare that, make it sound amazing, and then blow them away, and then just cuts down on the amount of questions they're gonna ask, because some interviewers like to play 21 questions, and I don't even know the right mind to be sitting down and answering all those questions, because the more I answer them, the more I get nervous. So if I could just cut down on the amount of questions that they're gonna ask, I would do it. She also asked me why specifically this hospital. So why do you want to work here at this specific hospital? I just told her about the awards they had, that they had the highest grade in safety, they're featured in the news, and how I just want to be a part and just figure out what I want to do career-wise, even though I want to be a physician assistant. So I just told her that this job could be very helpful in just helping me figure out what I wanted to do career-wise. So that was that. I think it was only 2 questions she really asked me. Yeah, it was really only 2 questions that she asked me. And then she asked me about like if I had any questions for her, and I did. I wrote them down because I know I wasn't gonna remember all those questions, so I had them down in like a notepad, and I asked her if it was okay for me to take out my notepad. So she said it was cool. She actually was just like, you have questions? And I'm like, yeah. I was looking at her like, I have questions. So it was kind of like 16. I wrote down about good 12 to 16 questions. And I ended up only asking about 5 that I really was curious about. So I asked her if they had any competition, and if so, why? Why does she believe that, you know, competitor hospital is better? Why would her competitor hospital seem better, or just something of that nature? And I asked her, how would someone like me, a first-time CNA, navigate in, you know, the hospital world? She told me that. It was just a bunch of different questions that really related to, you know, the job specifically. And the department that she was in was, I think I'm gonna mess this up. She was over 2 departments: med-surg, bariatrics, and dialysis. Asked me to pick which one I would be more interested in doing, and I was like, kinda bariatrics. She was like, okay, cool. And she wrote everything I was saying. She wrote down. She even gave me a grade towards the end, either like a 1 or a 2. And I believe that was the end of the interview. She told me, we stood up, shook hands, and I went back in the waiting room. And so I waited, and I was like, I kind of want to interview with the lady I was originally seeing. So I asked the ladies at the front desk if I could speak to, I said her name, which was the lady I originally wanted to interview with. And they was like, ooh, I don't know. They kind of was like, but they told me that she had an upcoming interview, and they could fit me in after. So I was like, it's okay, I'll wait as long as I can, so I can speak with her. So I waited, and then I don't think her interviewer came, so they just told me I could go back and speak with her. So I went back, we introduced each other and went back. She was kind of looking at me like, you already had your interview. And she was like, you already had your interview? And I'm like, yeah, but I had an interview scheduled with you, and I kind of want to interview with you. So she interviewed me. She told me to tell me about myself, and I did. I answered it the same way I answered it with the last lady. She asked me about one of my jobs that I had for only 5 months. I told her why I left, and I believe that was the only. She only asked me 2 questions, I believe. So she asked me if I had any questions, and I did. I asked her the remaining questions that I didn't ask the other lady. So I didn't ask. I just picked different questions that I didn't ask with the last lady. So she was surprised too. She's like, oh, yeah, I got some questions to ask. So that was that. And then she asked me which department I wanted to work in. And I told her, because she was in charge of the fifth floor. So she had an A and a B, and I told her I wanted to work in B, which was, you know, women's services. So that interview went well also. So I had to wait in the waiting room again to talk to human resources. So they brought me back. They offered me the letter. They told me about orientation and everything, about the job, the pay, everything. So that was that, and that was the end of the interview. They offered me the job. I was excited. Now I believe I've had a full week of my job, full week there at my job. I really haven't been on the floor, but I had 1 day of clinical. I have a full 2 more weeks with clinicals, and then I start my my position fully, which is nights women's services. So that was that. I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys my experience, how did I get my job, and just that's really much it. So thank you for watching my video. I hope that this helped. See you guys in the next video. Bye.